I had to do everything in one day because we went to the show yesterday. So, welcome to Big Scott 35 with Nats Man 72.
What's up, YouTube? It's hashtag Dennis.
Let's
do this.
Dirty South, as Eric does back pages said today.
Thank you, Eric. Yeah.
So, we're going to chat a little bit. Maybe some people will jump on here. I'm still, like I said, I have to talk to somebody how they set up their premieres. If anybody wants to educate this old man on electronics, it'd be great. I am willing to learn. So I don't know if I have actually, I keep saying 2 channels, but I think I got one thing open and I use StreamYard, but I use a Premiere on the actual YouTube. And I don't even know if it came up today.
Yeah, the Premiere came up, but you're under StreamYard.
Yeah. So I don't know what's going on there.
I'm double checking on my big screen. That's what I'm looking at.
Yeah. I kind of noticed that's what you were doing. Today, man, I was just telling Nats, man, me and him went to the show yesterday, and today just kind of.
It's a day of recovery, a day of rest.
And I had to wash clothes. I mean, do the single man stuff, why? Get some stuff ready for my lunches this week so I can sleep as late as I possibly can in the morning.
Meal prep it, baby. Meal prep it.
Yeah. And I'm trying to eat a little bit better because, man, I've been here for a little over 3 weeks, and it's been exciting to find all the food places. But you know what? I found all the food places.
Believe me, man, I understand it wasn't as bad as what you had in Iowa, but where I grew up, man, we didn't have pizza delivery, and it was like a 20-30 minute drive to go get something, drive time there and back. And it's like I moved to Concord, and it was like, man, there's like restaurants that deliver. There's Pizza Hut, and
I mean, Little Caesars has a drive-through like 2 blocks down the street from me.
Oh man, that'll get me in trouble. I love their pepperoni pizza.
I mean, I go just down my street, like just out on the main road, and I can get anything within a couple of miles of me, and I'm not used to that at all. I got kind of used to being out in the middle of nowhere.
Need to ask you. You made sure you called Mom today, right?
Yeah. Well,
I know you talked to her yesterday, but
called me. Well, you know what? I am a bad boy. I didn't, because we kind of did our thing last night. I was like, what are you doing calling me today? It kind of takes away from here. And then, we did our Mother's Day last week, and I'll call her later this week.
I called my sister and hadn't heard back from her, but I wish my sister a happy Mother's Day myself. And
I did that on the socials to my sister and my niece. This is her first Mother's Day, so.
Well, congratulations to her then.
Yeah, it's. I'm sure it was exciting for her today. That's a special moment. So I'm real happy for her.
As a fellow uncle, I've got to share this. I found out this was the first knowledge I found out this morning that was shared with me. But it turns out my niece. That is Ava. We call her Pearl, which she was a little girl. She wanted an old lady's name. Mm-hmm. So we named her Pearl, and that's her nickname. But she's a junior in high school, and she is went out on her third date with a young man. And from what I heard, I was impressed. He went in and made sure he shook Dad's hand and greeted Mom, opened up the door for her to get in the car, and
there you go.
So I'm like, hey, I'm ready. She should have been mine and Emily's daughter, and even the family says that she's so much like us. But So I'm kind of, I'm proud on that. It's nice to see my nieces and nephews being happy and stuff. So.
Well, and I mean, me and you, I don't have any kids, so like my godson and my niece and nephew are everything to me. And my sister gets mad because I used to spoil my niece and nephew, and or I still do.
Yeah.
My niece is 28, my nephew's 21. They're, and then my godson, he is, I mean, you have talked about him. He's super special to me. So,
and y'all just if you're when you're watching this, just know yesterday was the first time me and Scott actually met in person.
Yeah.
But him being, he says he has a godson, so he's a godfather. I did not have to kiss his hand. He did not make me an offer I couldn't refuse.
That's right.
Anything like that. So just want to put that out there.
Right. Yeah. So, and you did hit that on the head. We first time, and they say this a lot on here. Me and Mike kind of went through this. You meet, but it's like you've known each other for a lot. We knew already a lot of things about each other. Me and you talk quite a bit. So not just about cards, but life, checking in on each other's health. When we don't hear from each other, our little group, hey, what's going on? Why we in dead silence? So it's nice to have.
But I'll let you start on that, and then.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping we'll get some more people in here, but they can always watch this later. I've been getting a lot of views later on this.
Yeah, you've been getting some good licks on here. So
yeah, so we do it live just to see what interaction we have, but I hope to put good content out so when people watch it later, it's still there.
And thank y'all for all those views. Thank you very much.
Yes, it's overwhelming, and I'm not talking about thousands of views or nothing. It's me and Natsman talked about it yesterday. We met a guy there by the name of J Mac who has a very good channel who I knew nothing about till this weekend. I talk about this all the time. There's so many people out here in so many niches that I have my group that I watch, a lot of people that watch me, but also like just people that I find entertaining. Now, J Mac is entertaining because he sells at shows and shows you kind of behind the scenes of how a dealer works at these shows, which I love. That's what I like about Ryan, Sports Card Collector 2. That part of his world, some of the other stuff I can not have, but I like that part. So I'm glad I found him, but he has like I said, like 6.1 thousand subscribers or something like that. And that's been talks to this guy on the socials, and he didn't have a clue who he is. No, that's no takeaway from him. He has a lot of people he interacts with, and he interacts with them. That's the great thing is you message him the way it sounds. He talks.
He does, yeah. He'll answer you.
Talks with you. I had the same interaction with a YouTuber today because I'm Carlos. Never talked to him before. Had a question. Hit him up on direct messaged him on the Instagram, and me and him had a little, question and answer right there about what we'll talk about a little bit later. But getting back to what I was leading into, I have a small channel compared to that. And believe me, on YouTube, 6.1 thousand is not big. I mean, you have other YouTubers in the, some of those other things where they have millions of subscribers. But that's nothing to sneeze at in our community, 6,000 at all.
Yeah, this hobby, yeah.
Yeah. So, but I love my community because I could sit there And when I go to a show and sit there and talk to people, and it's close knit, I probably talk to a very large handful of the people in our group. Hi, Em. So I do like that part of having a smaller group. Now, don't get me wrong. If I had 6.1, I just get to know them all.
Bring it, right?
Right. Now at the show, like I said, met Nets man outside. We did the man hug and the fist bumps, and glad to meet you face to face. And it was like meeting a brother that you were separated away from at birth, the way kind of the day went. Em, I know, has some, we're going to be in a car together and all that. That's his wife. And I think yesterday kind of set the tone. We'll be okay. I think we'll be all right. But this is the first show you've been to, you said, since you were 12 years old, right?
Yeah, this was in just, I want to give a shout out to that Inside Pitch Promotions for the card show part. It was in Hickory, North Carolina. And it was my first show since I was 12. Never been to a show since then. And, really enjoyed going with you. You showed me a lot. You've been to shows, and I was very much appreciative of the education that I got, looking at stuff, what to look for, what not to look for.
Right.
And we can get all into that in a little bit, but I did want to, throw out a thanks to Inside Pitch and had some good conversations with folks, and we'll get into that too. But
that's where my education from you was, man, you know how to smooth, and it was beautiful to watch. I could tell you've been an investigator in points of your life. You knew how to talk to people, and man, you just knew how to get those answers out of people, man. That was beautiful.
It was hard on a couple of them.
Yeah, and I love to talk. Anybody will tell you that, I think. But, man, I get focused when I get into those shows or anywhere, and I just love the cards so much, and sharing it with the person that me and you were there, man. How many times did I say, hey, I was looking for you, like, hey, come see this.
And you got an eagle eye, man. There was stuff. There's just there was for me being my first show, there was a lot there.
Right. And that show was
like sensory overload a little bit.
Right. Sorry about that. I forgot to silence my phone. What I wanted to get into was so when we were there, that show, if people that are familiar with the Chantilly show, hey Mike, how you doing tonight? My table's crowded, so let me see if I can. Oh yeah, I can get up there. I have boxes upon boxes out here. Mike's here. Thanks, Mike, for coming with
Mike.
Coming out here, and I'll get to you in a minute because you'll be in a story here today. So the show is about the size of the Chantilly show without the autograph area. It was a big show, 300 tables, and it looked like 300 tables. It was. I should have took a picture of the back of the place and maybe posted it up here. But it was a nice size show. Had a little bit of everything. There was a lot of SGC there. Finally, I'm starting to see the influx of SGC shows that
I was really surprised
that I was waiting for. There was even a table full of GMA. So I'm wondering, Mike, if that's the guy from the Philly show that's at y'all's. I think that it talks about the guy with all the GMA slabs.
What was it? I think the biggest vendor we saw for SGC was I think East Coast Breakers.
East Coast something Breakers.
You got that? East Coast Breakers Club. That's it.
Breakers Club. That's right. East Coast Breakers Club. They're on Instagram. great couple. If you have a chance to be at a show, my gosh, that guy is awesome to talk to. We both may had deals with him. How you doing tonight? 357.
What's up, guys? Hey, James.
Yeah, I saw that was it on NBC or on streaming on Peacock this morning at 11 o'clock game, 357. I saw on MLB. I go every morning to see where all the games are going to be at. So if I want to watch one, I had the MLB package. So they said it was streaming on Peacock on the MLB thing, but which is, that's NBC Universal. So that, that kind of caught I didn't know that was the first game since 2000 though. So that's pretty cool. When we were there so we go in and we look over and we just kind of stroll in. It was a $5 entry, which is not bad for a 300 table show. $5. Chantilly, I believe, is 10, or is it going up to 15?
Do they typically stamp it at these events? Is that something typical they do so you can go in and out?
Yeah, almost
okay.
Anywhere you go, you'll get a stamp, or like the National will have VIP things, but they'll stamp people to go in and out. Their stamp there, though, that wipes right off. Most places have the little bit better stamps. So we go in and it's just lined up in big squares like you go in anywhere. Like I said, pretty good of everything. There was some tables where probably the person shouldn't have been there. Wristbands at Chantilly. I was thinking that was it, but thanks, James, on that one. I couldn't remember wristbands at Chantilly. Wristbands work pretty darn good. I have to. Better than what we had yesterday. Yesterday. Couldn't remember which day it was. There was a couple of tables where maybe the people shouldn't have been there. There's no way they really sold much. It was little. I kind of skimmed right past but it was good stuff, and a little bit of memorabilia there, a little bit of comic books, but we were told to be looking out for Star Wars stuff. Wasn't there? You had the most Star Wars stuff than anybody there. I bought 2 things from you before we even looked at the first table.
Yeah, because they said that I brought a bunch of my duplicates.
Right.
And it's for the Galaxy.
Yeah.
2021 Atomics. And there was a lot of chatter on YouTube.
Yeah. Ooh, that's a good one there.
And his grandson. And I think other than maybe that one vendor, I had the most Star Wars stuff for sure.
Yeah, and
in my backpack.
Yeah, and I did pick up a couple of Star Wars cards from one guy, and they were $5 for 2, and I think I did.
Yeah, that was.
I think both, and then I got them already packaged, ready to go to the SGC. No, those are on the side. I'm sending a couple that I bought from you. That's what I'm sending. And also, it was quite a bit though of non-sports stuff there. But it was Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, and older vintage non-sports. I saw quite a bit of Buck Rogers, Star Trek,
Kiss.
You're right. That it was quite a bit of Kiss there. A lot of knowing it was going to be some race car stuff there.
I was really surprised how much race car stuff wasn't there, other than the collectible stuff that the die-cast cars and stuff. I was kind of surprised.
So the race car stuff that was there though would be it wouldn't be mixed in with stuff. The collector, the dealer was only selling race car stuff. It was, you go to a lot of dealers and they'll have like basketball, football, baseball, a little bit of hockey. But when you got to a NASCAR dealer, that's all he had was NASCAR stuff. So that was that's the first time I've ever really. I was kind of thinking it was going to be more than that as well, but that's the first time I've ever been in that tight. I was really wanting to see how a Hickory show from Iowa was the difference, and I'll get at the end. I'll kind of talk about that.
You know, with you talk about the NASCAR. You know, there was the two vendors that kind of I had to educate them on those track cards for Dale Earnhardt. They had no clue.
Well,
on them.
And the best sales pitch ever. I want to tell your story because I don't want you to tell it because then you're telling your own story. Yeah. So Nats man's at the guy from what's the name of that?
East Coast Bros Breakers Club.
Breakers Club. Again, very nice couple. So he has a Dale Earnhardt guy and automatically wants the Dale Earnhardt card. The next one he goes, well, it's a 3. I really don't want the 3. And
SGC
3 black, black on black. Nats man without missing a beat goes, well, what's his card number? Oh, and the guy said, no, that's a play. And he goes, I'll probably take it for that reason. I go, that's eBay 101, man.
That's it.
And I'm sitting there, I'm looking at cards. He's already seen me pull out a couple. So I'm trying to go, hey, I'm going to buy stuff. Look at my boy over here. So he did make the sale on those. That was incredible. That was fun. That was one of the better. You didn't get $1 billion
no.
but it was just.
I got what I wanted out of it.
Let me tell you, we'll see that guy at another show, and you'll remember us. I guarantee.
Yes, you'll remember.
Right, and then after you left, I did the same thing. I'm going to show this off. I'm going to show this.
You got to show that one for sure, straight out.
Yeah, I'm going to show this off every chance I get because I just don't. I've never seen this card before.
That was the second table we were at.
Yeah, it was like the first row, about 3 or 4 down. So I bought this in a postcard, and I got the Wander Franco rookie, not rookie, refractor out of Bowman's Best. The one that's the week, whatever you want to have a discussion about, and had a talk with him, and the part of the show that we kind of want to talk about. One of the first thing was it wasn't a lot of people there. A lot of people buying. There was 300 vendors, and it was the quietest show I've ever been to in my life.
It was a 2-day show, y'all. It was a Friday afternoon show, right?
Yep. 2 to 6, and then
pretty much all day yesterday, I guess.
9 to 4, I think, was yesterday. So you talked to the lady that was taking the money. What did she tell you? You're right, Mike. And I want to real quick before I go. So I didn't know much about this card. Now this is when you phone a friend, right? Mike O got a text from me. Hey, have you ever seen one of these? I did him and Don's Field of Dreams, right? Because just to see if I had Rick's number, I would have texted him too. I was trying to hit anybody I could with this, and
y'all ain't gonna believe this. My man, he's got a bifold phone, and he's got his spreadsheet, Google spreadsheet open, and he's in a zone. And I'm like, Scott, and he goes, I got to get a hold of Mike real quick. I'm out.
Yeah, I try to get a hold of Mike. So you talked to the lady at the front desk. How many people did she say was there each day total?
And preference this as she did. This show is typically a card and toy show.
Mhm.
And it split. They split the room, she said, between the cards and the toys. And
Now they're having two separate shows.
so it's all in under one
Right.
roof, and half the room's cards, and
Right.
probably I'm getting ready to tell you, it's probably 3/4 of the room toys.
Yeah.
But she said this past Friday they had 200 and change, well under 300, but in the 200 mark, clicked in. And on Saturday when I left at 2ish,
Yeah, 2:30.
2:30.
Yeah, it was like 2 because I left at like 2:30.
Okay. They had a little over 400. And she said that, and I said, do you think this has anything to do with it being Mother's Day weekend? Scott had made a good point about when we were discussing the crowd earlier in the day, because we had a vendor tell us, hey, this usually jumps off at lunchtime. People start piling in. There was a little more foot traffic, but nothing like what was I expected to be jumped off. And from prior videos.
Face the walk around.
But she said that because it was not the toy side, they actually, she said on Friday, she said she had people say it was the weather. There was tornado warnings in Hickory. And then she said on Saturday, she thought it had to do with the graduation, but the biggest thing was there was no toys there. She says the last show, the previous show before this one, 2-day show was 1,400 people on average each day.
Yeah, and we're gonna go.
So keep that in mind.
Yeah, Mike, it sounds like the polar opposite of the last Philly show, and I'm interested to see now how that next show is, because I've been saying this now for a little over a year. Now they turned this into, now they want to have 2 separate shows of cards and toys. So in 2 weeks they're having the toy thing. And I plan on going down to that because I collect different toys and comic books and video games. So I plan on going down there to that just to see what it is. Might not even pick up anything. But how many of these bigger shows can an area support? And this it's pretty big, just as big as Chantilly, but it's not a destination show like Chantilly. Like, people come all over the East Coast and other places for Chantilly in Dallas.
This is a North Carolina like regional show.
And I drove an hour to this one.
Same here.
So what did it, like, next week they're in Salisbury?
Yeah, and that's down here next to me.
Right, and then they're going to be in Raleigh and
a couple of weeks.
Right, so
at the fairgrounds. Yeah.
That's only like an hour or 2 away from each other, having these same shows. I don't know how many more dealers you're going to have. Like, the one dealer I talked to that I bought the Clemente stuff from, he's from Atlanta, Georgia, and he said he only comes, the Nationals coming too. And this was my kind of last buying before I start looking at National, having money for the National to have fun with. He said he comes from Georgia, and this is the only show he does is this one. And it was down, and they were kind of blaming it on Mother's Day. But we didn't want to really talk about it, but gas is at $4.10 here.
405 here.
Yeah. So unless you go to it, we got a couple places that I found at $3.89 and another place at $3.99.
And to be totally transparent, we that was something I was asking. I was specifically trying to get vendors to talk. Some were easy to talk to, and the way I kind of broke the ice was, I'm looking at cards. I'll ask about split and be like, you got a really nice setup here. You get them talking. break that ice with them, and then get to talking about a car, and then I'll be like, hey, by the way, this is my first show. I'll lead into it. And I had, what was it? We had, I think I said 3 vendors that admitted this, that they didn't feel it had anything to do with Mother's Day. They totally believed it is the looming recession, prices going up for fuel, for people having to make ends meet. I thought the one vendor said, I didn't make not one sale. And I talked to J Mac, and I said, hey, I got some stuff. You interested? Because he buys. He's like, I just bought $70 worth of stuff. I've not sold anything. I've got to sell some stuff.
Right.
So it looks like, and I didn't see a lot of this like I've seen in previous Hickory Show videos, or even from like videos from different shows throughout the country. I did not see a lot of trading. Mm-hmm. There was still electronic payment. There were still vendors taking PayPal, Venmo, PayPal. But
yeah, I gotta say there was more of that at this one. When I went to the big show in Des Moines, I didn't see any of that, and there was still some big cards to be had, like trading wise. But I just didn't see a lot of action. And a lot of looking. Yeah, and I didn't see. I want to mention I did see a lot of CSG there. It was a good mix, and I didn't see a lot of action. A lot of big basketball. And I saw the typical vendors at shows. You could spot the flippers, the guys the ones that want to be the cool kids.
You made a good analogy how to spot that.
Yeah, and you could spot it, you could see it, and there was few of them there. I know I want to say, I didn't know what I was walking into at all, because I just think all shows are at their base root the same. But this one wasn't. I'll talk a little bit about what I saw different. It wasn't.
And it was a great location, isn't it?
Right.
Convention center right on the interstate.
Right on the highway.
Easy in, easy out. Free parking.
For somebody that's gone to shows in different parts of the country and stuff, this one was a little bit more old school, more, ground level. These guys that were in there with the big cards, I think they were at the wrong place. Unless something happened at these shows before, and it just didn't happen at this one.
Well, you saw the one big boy card I had and the reaction that certain vendor had.
Nobody wanted to even. They couldn't
touch it.
Right.
They wouldn't touch it.
And I mean, I went back and did a bundle, and I got $50 off of the asking price for the bundle at the end on my big purchase. So, and it wasn't that wasn't huge, but I'm sure that probably made the guy's day, because
now there was some overpriced stuff.
Now that's what the next thing. So
sorry.
We did see. No, I'm glad you brought it up. So, because I probably would have forgot about it. We did see things drastically overpriced, and like in the high point of the COVID era pricing for some of these cards, and those people weren't coming down. Nats man asked the person about a Lubob card, and the guy goes, "Oh, I'm just into it for way too much." Well, bud, that's your fault, right? That's not what that card is right now. Mm-hmm. So why do you have it out there if you're not going to sell it? And it was a lot of that going on. I saw that was almost the way it was a couple of years ago at the National when I went. A lot of stuff was overpriced, and I felt bad if you're just a pure hobbyist, casual collector, and you go in and you just see the name on the card and don't realize Yeah, it's probably not that much. And you're hearing all the hype about cards.
You got to tell them about the chipper slab.
Yeah, so there's a chipper slab 8, and it's one of his rookies. 8.5. 8.5. Was it the traded one? I couldn't remember.
Yeah, it was traded. It wasn't even from the sandbox edition.
So I was looking in mine today. I was like, I'm gonna get all these graded. Because if it's an 8, this guy was trying to sell an 8.5 for $1,400. I just started laughing. I didn't even bother looking at the rest. It drew my eye to it. Because me and Nats, man, the first thing we talked about it there. The first thing you do is like you see a card that you have, or you got it and you don't have it graded yet. You might want to see what people are pricing it at. See if you want to grade yours as solid. I was like, holy cow! I got a stack of those. I'm going to go home and grade every one of them for $12. And CSG is selling for $800. My God! But yeah, I don't know what that guy was thinking. I hope I saw it wrong.
You didn't, because I saw it too. And I was like, I even like looked and to make sure it didn't have the palm tree,
Right.
And I was like, oh my God, what's this guy done? And it said traded on it.
Yeah. So it was some of that going on. Yeah, that show, and I hopefully there's more shows. I want to go down to I guess that Raleigh show if it's over there. But as we get closer to the national, I really don't see myself going. If I go, I told Nats man I'll be strictly in the dollar boxes with my spreadsheets out, looking to see what for player hunting or set building.
I enjoyed looking in the dollar boxes. So.
Yeah, I
didn't buy anything, but I enjoyed looking through them. So.
That I usually do, but that show I was kind of touching on this yesterday with you. That show was like an in-between show. It was almost too big to be there for one day, but almost not. But it wasn't really big enough to be there for 2 full days, right? So. Mm-hmm. For me, I didn't get to see all the tables, but like I said, I hate to judge people by the way they look, but I can see a person as I go by and kind of go, I probably don't even want to waste my time looking at that stuff, right?
I saw that happen.
Right.
I'm like, hey, you want to go down this way?
No need.
No need. Yeah, that was the line. No need.
But when you're there at a certain set of time, and I thought I had till 4. Well, guess what? Nats man leaves at 2, so he had to be somewhere at 3 or by 3. Did you make it, by the way? Because that was cutting it close.
They closed. So I got to go tomorrow. So.
Okay. Right. So anyway, when he left, right after that, people started closing down their tables.
Yeah.
And it was still 2 more hours of show left. And so I went over and I started making my deals then because I didn't want people to leave. Well, I was like, whoa, I want those cards. Especially the first thing I did is I made a beeline to the ATM.
Mm-hmm. And if I would have, I wish we, hindsight is what it is, but if I would have known that, I would have gone after gone back and got that John Riggins card.
Yeah, man.
And I kind of kicked myself on that one. And,
I would have liked to seen that one graded just to see if my eyes were right.
And that Ricky Henderson card, but I'm going to reach out to him. So.
Yeah, that one was priced
very well.
Yeah, because I bought the other ones, and I thought not the Cronenworth, but the Ken Griffey's were a little overpriced. That's why I hesitated. But I went back and got them because they weren't too terribly over. When you sit there and I hope this gentleman watches this because this could be a learning for him as to somebody to know who you're talking to, right? to learn the different people you talk to. I told him I was a collector, and he told me, "Oh, this is a pop one and only one higher." What does those back pages say? I love it. It's only, and I've heard Blue Jacket say this too, and other people. It's a pop one until somebody else gets it graded.
Yep.
And it's a pop one on SGC. You don't know how many is in SG. Now there's only 100 of those cards. So saying it's a pop one means absolutely nothing to me. So you could have told him your SGC 3 Dale Earnhardt's a pop one, right? Because that
probably is.
Right. So you're sitting here telling me it's a pop one and only one higher. Well, I want the one higher. Here you go. I don't. You guys work for Fanatics now. A lot of officially licensed merchandise in this live stream.
This was actually purchased at Nats Park in Palm Springs.
This is a new era hat, so I do have Fanatics.
That's funny. I do have Fanatics stuff.
I do have a lot of Fanatic stuff, so you are correct. That's some funny stuff.
Some of their pricing you can't beat.
I'm changing it to my Brave shirt.
Yeah, God.
Why do you guys go to the house for what day? We're going to be there Tuesday, right? The day we can get into it?
Yes.
Right?
Yep.
Alonzo hit 2 home runs. Nice. I saw the first today or just in the second game. So I saw the one he hit in the first game. Yeah, thing went 8 miles. He got into it and then some. Alonzo got this weekend with the Phillies.
But the best home run for the whole week has got to be Lou Bob over the monster in Boston out into the parking lot.
Right. Yeah. I haven't seen it. I heard about it on the radio today. I've had to leave my apartment. Now, this is the bad thing about living in an area where I can just go and leave is I can go and leave. So I need one thing. I need a paper for my printer. It's in one of my boxes I haven't unpacked yet, which I probably won't unpack. So I plan on getting another apartment in a year when my lease is up. So I just went and got another ream of paper. So my pop count matters much more for vintage and pre-war. I agree. Not 2021 out of 100 King Griffey. It's Don Ross 100% paper. It's already at 100 count. I mean, I wanted it because it was already graded. It was out of 100, and it was King Griffey Jr. You had me there. As a collector, so this is where I wish they had a universal, just like Mike Monahan says, just like Bobo says. I think Mike O's in that court. I think Elite Code 3 is there. I think a lot of people, if there was a universal database that had all the information of across, not all the graders, but the big ones, the
top 4, yeah.
Yeah. Now you got CSG that's being the player now. So you probably want to add them to it. So you got 4 guys in that of what is there. Because telling me there's one SGC is the other.
And y'all, as Scott said this earlier, CSG had a very good rep at that show. And had very prices that were put them in the fight. Good cards
with the old flips.
With the old flips, not the new. I didn't see a lot of new flips,
right?
But I saw a lot of the old flips and certain cards, certain players. Mm-hmm. They're selling. I talk to the vendors and they're like, "Yeah, people are."
Well, I mean, if you want modern cards graded right now, there's only 2 places to go.
SGC and CGS.
Yeah, she blinded. That was the point right there. I don't want to call you dumb, Andy. You're one of the smartest guys I know. But have some pop ones where I'm the only guy dumb enough to submit it.
Exactly. Hey, you're out.
Yeah, so,
that's funny.
Yeah, I mean, I know it carries some weight, like Mike said, on pre-war vintage, especially if you got a high graded like 50s, 60s cards that just are not, you can't find them graded for centering and because they're just not there.
Yeah, 357 with Nolan. I've actually interviewed Nolan on my channel and had asked him about this, and it's a lot of stuff that he's just picked up over the years, and at some point he's grading them. I think on a recent video he had made a comment that, because he admits it, he'll crack something and resubmit, but he's in a position now, he's like flat out said it's too expensive to do that at this point.
Right. But I mean, go to his water to wine. He came up with this, right? So where are you going to do that at right now? You're going to do it at CSG, right? They're the $12 guy. I mean, even SGC now at the best rate you're going to get is $23.
Yeah, and it's
with a bulk submitter. So you got to go $12 with a bulk submitter with CSG, and they got to me they have the best looking. I love CSG's plastic.
That acrylic is just.
It is beautiful. Not taking anything away from anybody else's. I just love that. And in the flip, I just don't care. It looks, and believe me, I saw the new GMA because a guy had a bunch of them, and it does look like the GMA flips. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah,
but it's not the same grader. So if it says CSG, it's just
I like the old flip. I didn't have a problem with the old flip.
Got used to
just the font, I thought.
Yeah, they just needed to make the actual paper itself smaller, I think.
Yeah.
I think everybody would have got used to it. But yeah, that Nolan does. That guy's got one of the best eyes for this. He's done it so much. He can pull out.
And he's transparent. He is so transparent.
Yeah.
About his grades and cards. He will. That's what I really like about him. He's personal. He responds to his fan base or collectors, whatever. And
part of the hobby, man. Yeah.
He's just he's transparent. He's like, this is a 9, or this
this is. That's what he's looking at too.
There's a 10 that should really be a 9, or here's an 8 that should have been a 10, kind of thing. So.
Right. I am learning every time I send in, and sometimes I think I'm getting better, and then other times I'm like, I got that 6-pack in that SGC this time.
That's a finger, man.
I still don't know. It's got to be a surface issue for that. It's a black border card. I don't see any chipping on the edges or nothing. But a 6, man,
I think they should. I think they were going to hit a 9 on it and hit the 6 on the keyboard.
Is it an urban legend that Alico 3 coined the term tuxedo for? No, I believe he was. I can't say for definite, but from what I understand, I mean, a man put on a tuxedo to do a release to show return.
He's had a long relationship with SGC.
Yeah, and I mean, PSA was with them forever. I mean, he was in a PSA magazine.
Yeah, so I mean, he's built relationships with both.
Yeah, so Mike knows exactly. It was through him. The last SGC order was a little tight. Yeah, and I think I did. I got 2 10s on 2 pretty good cards, so I can't really get too upset. And I got a couple of 8.5s on those gold national cards, and the national cards. When you go to the national, those cards, if you pull out a 10, you better go buy a lottery ticket because there is a lot of issues with those cards. They're made so fast, and they just need them for that one time. And
that's what I keep hearing. That's why I've got 2 national cards for Soto from 18, and I don't want to
Well, these,
Simple.
you know, they were gold. So one was out of 25 and the other one was out of 50, I think.
You
Even though I
still,
thought,
if you sold it, you'd still make good money on it for sure.
yeah, but those two that's a Soto and a Trout. So the only person going to sell it, whoever gets it after I'm dead. So what is this? I think he had two of the only handful of 10s in the order. Yeah, but that order had a lot of oddball stuff in it, including some of mine and older cards. So when you get those orders, you know, but yeah, it wasn't too many. Sell the Soto to that Soto nut Westergriff. Yeah, I got a couple of gold, probably Harpers I could probably sell to you. They're made USA as well. Well, I tell you, the ones that are made in Italy last year seemed to have a lot of problems when they were trying to use the cutters over there for different products.
All the Topps UK was printed in Italy.
Yeah, so but they also used it in some other products as well last year to get things done. And you know, I wish I could get some cutters. I'd open them up in a garage somewhere and let's get rolling. I mean, if Fanatics was smart, they'd buy one of those. Yeah. So any other thing is last thing that we saw from there, because we said we were learning things. One was potential red flags. By any means, I'm not saying the hobby's dead. The hobby's never going to die. The hobby will live on. It's a cockroach. It's going to live forever in one shape, form, or another. Okay. It's been around for hundreds of years. It's not going anywhere. So, but there's things that make you go, what's going on? I don't like that. I know that makes you go back in time on that. But we found this. We got handed this when we walked in. I kind of walked by, but Natsman never met a stranger. So we sat there and talked to him. And it's Secure Trade Club. Tired of high percentage fees. It's another club. The guy said you can get up at 3 a.m. and buy cards and stuff. And I'm like, well, I can do that on eBay. So I'm trying to figure out pretty late in the game for this to happen. You got hundreds of these things popping up, you know.
They were given a lot. I mean, they were pushed. They were like,
yes. And I'm like, my gosh, what are you doing? Like, we could sit there and talk about PSA having a large section of the market, right? Of the grading market. But let's be real. We talk about eBay having a large section of the market for secondary sales, on the market, secondary market sales. PSA is nowhere in comparison to what eBay does, right? eBay controls the vast majority of secondary, and everybody else is fighting for crumbs, not even a piece of the pie. So when you're coming in and you're trying to start this right now, they got a nice little skein bar and all this stuff, but at the end of the day, man, like Whatnot and I guess that catches attraction, but I don't think that's doing it.
My slabs.
My slabs. You still have 4 Sharp Corners. You still have ComC. You still Sport Lots, which is probably the most quiet used website because nobody wants to talk about buying cheap cards, but that's what that is. It's
like riding a moped with a fat chick.
Yeah, that is, that's where I sell, and I make $175, $50, and I either keep it. No, looking at another there's some bigger cards. You got Mike's Card Shop.
Miko, yeah. I had to quit watching Mike's auctions. Every time I said, I just want to watch, and I'm like, I need that.
Right. Yeah. I'm gonna have to get a second shift here in another week. So I got one more week. You can't switch nights on me now. You threw me a curveball this week coming on Wednesday, and start with the numbers and stuff first, so I can watch it and go to bed.
Oh, something is that I really appreciated, and I actually told the vendors this. So if some of y'all like go to shows and you do sell, someone that was looking to buy specific things, but just looking at your showcases, have prices on the cards. Have your price there, so at least then it's a starting point. I really enjoyed that. Helped me as a consumer to know where your starting point was. So I can't read that.
It's Don's Field of Dreams cards. Hi, fellas.
Hey, what's up, Don?
Yeah, the plan is to have him next Sunday live with us too, talking about some vintage, and that's going to be kind of my kickoff to the National with him. And I'm
looking forward to it. I'm getting educated.
Yeah, we're going to both get educated. Always blaming it on Ed, man. Yeah, you could have sold from the park. That would have been unique. Done the show from the park.
Oh, and then something else I didn't
win that night.
Something else I didn't see, we didn't even talk about, was even at the show we didn't even really say it, but I just realized it. I didn't see a lot of trades between people.
Yeah,
like standalone, like people paying to come in. I didn't see any of that.
I don't see a lot of that at shows. I see it after the shows or outside the show. It's kind of bad. It is bad taste to do it at vendors' tables. Mm-hmm. That's why I kind of stepped back when we were talking about those two Star Wars, kind of stood out in the middle of the walkway, because it's kind of us doing a deal right there at the table.
Right.
It's bad form, bad taste.
Now we only saw one person with the pull behind. Okay.
Yeah, there was some Pelican cases. It was a lot more of like little leather box cases, like old CD cases from like the late 80s, early 90s, or like the old cassette cases.
I saw a fanny pouch.
Yeah, Nats Man had the best. He had two like index card plastic holders that those cards stuffed in. I go, you put handles on that, and a Pepino man would love you. That was awesome. He
stowed it right in my backpack.
Yep, it was. Here's my Pelican case.
That's it.
Should have just colored it with a crayon Pelican case.
Right, you should have told me to do. I would have dressed it up for sure.
But man, we had a good time yesterday. At least I did. I can't speak for you.
Yeah, I had a blast. A lot of vendors would I guess because it was really slow, I guess were willing to talk, like just general chit chat. There's two vendors I do want to like give a shout out to. Mm-hmm. One is the 704 crew.
Mm-hmm.
And they are down here. 704's area code in our area, but they do online stuff. They're on Instagram. And then it's 704 crew sports cards. And then Ken's 10S 9S project is Instagram as well. It's two gentlemen that have gone in together. They had some really cool stuff, really good pricing. And if you didn't find something, they said, they can't bring everything, DM them. And they'll try and, broker a deal or something. And then the other one is this Bowling Springs sports car. They're in South Carolina. And really had some nice stuff and was very good to talk to and get information from. And I just wanted to give these two vendors for sure.
Let y'all know, this is going to be Natsman's first national. So if you have any private information, I would not sit down alone with this man, because you will tell it.
I think the scooter helped.
Yeah, you know what? My man has to walk around with a scooter, but I think it's just a ploy, so he has someone sit down to look at stuff. I was mad, some of a bitch. And he's fast on it. I could turn around, he's gone. I'm like, he was just talking to that guy for 30 minutes, and I was gone. Art Houdini with that thing.
I'm looking forward to the trade night deals or whatever at the end of that people may have, and I think.
Well, if it's like
I think we'll
year,
have one in the house.
Walk
too.
down the street and it'll be a trade night.
I think we may have one for the house members. So.
Oh, okay.
That idea was getting kicked around.
Okay. Yeah. Hopefully, word will get out about nights going on and people doing things and who's doing what. I know there's people in houses and things like that. So.
Might be got a place. Be prepared to shell some money out.
Yeah, it might be like college beach week all over again, where we're just bouncing around and having a keg at somebody's house.
Yep.
So
where are we at? I don't know.
But anyway, man, this has been a fun one tonight. Love talking about card shows. Love going to card shows. This one was great for what was in there. Just disappointed with the amount of people there. It made me not scared, but just kind of were a little leery of the future and keeping my mindset for where, because I'm not one that thinks if prices go down, it hurts the hobby. I don't think that at all. It hurts people in the hobby, but it doesn't hurt the hobby. Because when there's losers, there's always going to be winners.
And that's the thing to remember is that when we were, said, remember at the end when Scott's talking about this is remember the combo show for the cards and the toy show was 1,400 people.
Right.
On their big day, which
right.
would have been their big day, was 400 people.
Right.
For just sports cards.
And that had a lot of that told me something. Yeah. So, and I heard people coming up thinking they were going to have toys there and were mad.
Yeah.
Who walked away when they said it was just a card show. So, I think I'm hoping it was just the area. That's because I don't want people to leave the hobby for those reasons. To me, some of these people leave the hobby were better off, but the majority, I think, I'm hoping is staying for the long haul. It's cards on, it's cardboard. Come on, man. Mm-hmm. Let's have fun with it. That's what we're going to have at the end of the day. I know that didn't make much sense. In my mind, it does. I don't want to come straight out and say some of the things that's
I've said this. It's we met as hobbyists. We became hobby friends, and now we're friends.
Right. Yeah, and I've had quite a few like that now, and
it's about community.
Right, and yesterday was just solidified that. I think that this year's national, we're gonna a lot of things will be built on that. And Don, if you're still there, I'm gonna hit you up probably either Monday or Tuesday. Start lining up some things with you.
Now, don't tell Mike O when I said about when we had the bench talk. So,
Mike O?
Yeah.
I don't remember what were you. Oh, yeah. Don is the center of the hobby squad.
I'm the little fella. I'm the little guy.
Mike is the point guard.
Golly, all y'all tall rascals, I tell you, man.
He's Kevin Hart.
Yeah, I'm the Kevin Hart of the
team. But anyway, thanks for joining us tonight, everyone. Really enjoyed the chat. Loved the laughter. This was a good change. Wait, what? Don't worry about it, Mike. You'll be on here soon enough. You're on my list for national stuff. Till next time, I'm only 6'5", but then you're the power forward. I don't know. I have yet to see anybody taller. You and Jeremy Lee, y'all two might be the two tallest people in this hobby. because I know you got Eric those back pages. I think you got him beat. So until next time, I'm getting out of here. Until next time, leave a like, share, tell a friend, and we'll see you.
Peace.